Hello, everyone. Hello. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning to you too, Darcy, and everyone.
Yes, yes. We're so excited to have everyone with us today, and we've had such a tremendous feedback from everyone saying they wanted to learn more about sublimating onto, we call it mugs, but we're going to go way beyond mugs today as well. So you're going to get a nice overview of all sorts of drinkware. And I'm going to be speaking throughout the webinar, but Jamie is, let me bring up the next screen here. Jamie is our technician here at Coastal, and she is going to be answering any questions that go throughout the webinar. So if you notice, you'll have an area down there on the questions. Feel free, and anything that I'm talking about that seems a little confusing, feel free to ask, and Jamie will answer those questions for you. At the end, we're going to open it up to a wide open forum and do a lot of Q&A questions, but hopefully we're going to get a lot of them answered throughout the webinar today. So here's an agenda of what we're going to be doing. We're going to do a nice little explanation of what dye sublimation is. We always like to cover that the first, so in case anyone is very new to this, we can explain to them what's going on. We're going to do an overview of coated mugs and other drinkware. How do we do this? Through the printing process, both using small format and large format printing. Production of single, mid-level, and high volume production. So you're going to see a nice overview of this. I forgot to add one item in, but we got some feedback. People wanted to see examples of like mistakes and how to avoid them. So we went ahead and added that in. And we've got some promotions throughout the webinar, and of course questions. We want to make sure that you guys walk away from today's webinar very well educated and excited about mug production. So sublimation printing, what is it and how does it work? So this is how sublimation is. Now in this example it does say fabric, but it's okay, it's on hard surface too. You've got the process where you're taking a design and you're printing it out, whether it's on a desktop printer or a large format printer, but it would be a dye sublimation printer. So if you have a laser transfer printer or eco solvent printer, any other type of printer out there, that's one set of ink. A dye sublimation printer is exclusively for dye sublimation. So you have special ink, you have special transfer paper that takes the ink and holds it, and that transfer paper, it holds onto to your design, the ink, and then once it's exposed to a heat and pressure, the ink warms up and leaves the paper and transfers over, and now the ink leaves and dyes onto the polyester. So speaking of polyester, I know in this scenario we're talking about fabric, but we'll move over to that. All the hard surface items that are sublimated on have a polyester coating. So the mugs that we're going to be talking about today and the other drinkware, they all have a polyester coating on them. We sell tons of, or offer tons of mugs on our website and drinkware options. And a lot of people will ask us, about, well, can I sublimate on my own mugs? Can I go over to Walmart or wherever and pick up my own mug and sublimate on it? And you really can't tell the difference between which one of these mugs is from Coastal and which one's from, a store, a chain store. And there's different ones out there, but no, you can't go into Walmart and pick up a mug. It does not have a polyester coating on it. So let me go to the next slide here. A little delay here. Again, when it comes to the drinkware and other hard surface items, the blank item needs to be able to accept that ink. And the dye sublimation ink is accepted with a polymer or polyester coating. There's different ways to coat hard surface items. There's a powder coating, there's liquid coating, there's different levels of coating to make the item more tolerable to whether they're going to be a dishwasher safe, and safe to the consumer. And there's different grades of coating. So there's an A, B, C coating. I'll tell you, Coastal offers all grade A coatings on their mugs, and we actually go through a 3-step process of inspecting the mugs before they reach you. So as far as the coating, you just be very assured that our coating is the grade A coating. And then also, I'm going to do a shout out to our warehouse team. They do an excellent job of making sure not only do you're going to get the right shipment to you of what you're ordering, but when it comes to the mugs, they do a lot of extra protection when we sell it like a case of 36 mugs. Each mug is individually placed with dividers. There's lots of protection in there. And we have they just do an awesome job of getting it shipped to you to when you order 36 mugs, you're going to get 36 mugs with no chips or dents or anything. So we take pride in that, and just a shout out to our warehouse team for doing such a good job with that. So now we're going to go into a lot of different items that you can sublimate onto, and I'm going to go through this a little fast because I want to honor the hour that you're with us. So we're just going to start showing you all the different types of sublimational drinks that are available, drinkware. So here are a lot of our 11 and 15 ounce mug options. Our number one purchased, or most people are working with, would be let me get my highlighter here. This would be the white 11 ounce mug. We also have it in 15 ounce, and then a variety of colors, whether you want the inside cup of the mug colored and the rim. So just a lot of different options available is where I'm going with here. Uh, these are some fun ones, and we're going to be highlighting this mug a lot later, but we have mugs that they're black, but once you pour your coffee in it, it turns white and you can see your image. So a lot of people do some fun things with this one. If you're a screen printer, and you have the capability of printing onto mugs, we've got customers who use these mugs, but they'll actually screen print on the mug afterwards. So when the mug is in this stage, you have like a name, or maybe the park name on here, but then when it sublimates, then you see the picture of the park, or whatever item that you want to put on it. But screen printers are printing and putting a logo on this when it's just black, and then the logo shows as well when it's colored. So the next slide, we've got some real fun mugs. These are our silver ones, and then the hot pink one. So just keep in mind when you're sublimating, you want your design to be darker. So, a nice dark black logo on this, or a yellow. The Dye Sublimation ink is a translucent ink, so it will take on the color of the mug. So if you printed pink, you probably wouldn't see it very well on here. You have to go darker. Your design needs to be darker on these mugs. Some more options for our drink 'em up mugs, 11 and 15 ounce. We have some Christmas ones and happy birthday ones. So these are printed inside. So when you actually buy the mug, this is already done inside on the happy birthday. And then you can put whatever you want on the outside to customize it for the birthday for your girl. And then Christmas ones as well. This one is actually a clear one, and this one's frosted. And we have plastic as well as tin. So the camping tin has been very popular. Now this one is probably my favorite mug. We do have a mug that is made here in the US. So I wanted to just give it its own special moment here, that we do have made in the USA sublimation mugs available. And it's in the 11 ounce. Now, when you get the mug, maybe you want to have it put into a box. So we do have our own gift box available, as well as foam boxes where you can buy the foam insert if you're shipping it. And now we have a personalized sublimation gift box. And this box looks kind of boring. So it actually comes flat, and you can sublimate onto it and make it your own image. So now you can have not only your custom mug, you can have a custom or personalized sublimation gift box as well. So a lot of fun things we're seeing there with customers doing personalized gift box, and that really makes a nice display on the counter when you're showing your mugs. So we're going to move away from the 11-ounce mugs and show a few other items. The latte options, both big and the small one and the larger one. A lot of travel mug options. So I'm sure you weren't maybe aware that you could do all these different types of drinkware, and we're not done yet. So travel mug options, more travel mug options available. And I'm going to highlight Jamie's on the webinar with us today. And here is the Polymer sublimation tumblers. And Jamie, along with our coworker Meredith, if you want to see how these and a lot of the different items that are made on our that we offer, go to YouTube and subscribe to Coastal Business. And we have a lot of videos. This is just one of them. And Jamie is showing how to sublimate on the 12-ounce double-walled polymer tumblers, because sometimes there's a few extra steps that are involved. And so we always like to give some information on how to do these. Wine glasses, our stainless steel options, and the tumbler as well. And then we have some of these because why not? We definitely have to have some other fun items outside of mugs. And we can't forget about these little fun guys too. So shot glasses are a great choice for giveaways. So went through those maybe too fast, or if you guys want to see anything else again, we can backtrack and talk about them at the end of the webinar. But a lot of different drinkware available. And if this is something you guys want to add, but you want to kind of play around with it, we do now have a lot of different blank bundle packages. So with this one, this is one of our bundle packages where you can purchase and try out a lot of different drinkwares. I believe this is around a $70 value. I think that's what it is, but there's other ones available too for Christmas or ornaments. We have this one, kind of mouse pad and some other items. So we're starting to offer quite a few different bundle packages on our website. So I encourage you to go and check out those different bundles, and that way you can play around and try out our new products. So I'm gonna, from here, I'm gonna move over to the printers, show you some of the different equipment that it takes to do this type of production. So we're gonna do both, whether you're wanting to make one or you're wanting to do 1,000. We're gonna show you all the different ways to do this. So if you're looking at doing, a few at a time, or honestly, you can do quite a few with these printers as well. So we have the new showcasing the new Virtuoso printers. This would be the SG500 and SG1000. You can see the sizes that they can make here. So this is a really good way of being able to do the different types of prints that you'll need. These printers come with different capacity inks, whether you're going to work with the 42 milliliters or the bigger extended capacities. I'm sorry, the standard capacity is here. I looked at the black, it said 42. The standard capacity, or we do have extended capacity on these with that Sawgrass printer. And then we offer mug size sublimation paper. So you can just put the paper into the printer and print the various sheets out. So if you're going to be doing the smaller items, you would work with the 3.5 by 9, or the bigger ones, 4 by 9.5. So a little bit, about an inch extra. And these work great with the different types of drinkware that we just showed. Now, this would be if you're doing kind of small or kind of low level production. And if you're going to get into wanting to do like thousands at a time, or hundreds, thousands at a time, we do recommend working with a larger wide format printer. So we're showcasing the SureColor F6370. And this printer comes with quite a few items. The Epson Edge print software program, as well as it does have a built-in cutter, so it would print out the design, and as the paper comes out, you would just, it slices, so you can print quite a few. This printer is the standard edition, and Epson does have a production edition as well. The production edition, let me show this one. It actually comes with the take-up system. So that's where the paper would come off and then roll up onto a take-up system to allow for more continuous production of your design. This printer's, you would be able to print pretty fast if you're doing any other type of sublimation printing, especially when it comes to fabrics. But when it comes to printing onto hard surface items, you definitely want the high quality print. So you'd be looking around, 119 square foot an hour is what these printers could print at. So this is where you're going to get that quicker, that faster production flow. Now I'm going to move over to another piece of equipment that most people wouldn't think about when it comes to dye sublimation production. And this is where, if you're doing the smaller printers, your paper's already cut out perfectly to size. When you're doing wide format, it's printed onto a larger paper, a 44-inch sheet, but then how do you get it down to the smaller size? And most people think of using their cutters to do these types of items here, stickers and decals and window signage and even, magnets. So we recommend working with a Graphtec cutter for making those items, but we actually recommend partnering up your printer with a Graphtec cutter as well for doing mug production. And the reason why is the Graphtec cutter can do contour and die cut as well. So it will make it very easy to cut out the rectangle printout that you need and pop that out of the sheet on into any type of rolled media that you're working with. I might have confused you here, so I'm going to walk you through what we're talking about. And my next slide, I'm going to show this is the Epson printer printing out all of the decals that we're going to be making mugs with. So you can see all of these different ones. And whenever this year we've been going to trade shows up until here recently, we would have these mugs that we had printed out and showing people and handing them out at shows so they could see the whole process. But we're printing these out with the Epson printer. And then we take it over to the Graphtec cutter, and the Graphtec cutter is cutting out the rectangle, and that is going to be the print that we will put onto the mug. From there, in our production department, we have them popping it out, and that is because the cutter has an option to do perf cut. It can cut through, all the way through the paper without damaging the blade on the cutter, because there's actually a section inside the cutter that allows the blade to go through without damaging the blade. And then we'll get into this more, but after it's pulled off, then we tape it around the mug and apply the wrap around, and now you have the mug that's finished. And we're going to highlight these steps a little bit more in a few minutes here. So those are the different types of printers to work with. And now we're going to get into the heat source. And we had a few options for printers, but we're going to have quite a few more when it comes to applying the heat and how to go about doing that to make the transfer happen. So we're going to start first with the Hicks mug wraps. Now, the way the mug wrap works is you put the image around the mug, you actually tape it, and then you wrap the Hicks wrap around it and you clip it together. Now with the wraps, we actually, and this is with all of our ways of doing our mugs, whenever you buy any sublimation blank from us, we will always have a recommendation of how much time and temperature to do the sublimation with. So this is with a convectional oven. is what we are referring to on our temperature and time. And if you're going to be working with any type of any other oven than what we are going to be highlighting here today, your time and temperature may vary, and you're going to have to do testing. So whether you work with a different type of conventional oven than what we're showing today, you will have a little bit of experimenting here on your cooking time. So, but it's pretty easy. You put the clap, again, you tape the design around it, and then you put the wrap around it, and you put it into the oven. A lot of different variety of wraps available, and Hicks can do custom wraps too. So that's something, if you have a unique item in mind, give us a call and we can talk to you about that. And then here's a more example. So here's our printout. We taped it to the mug. You wrap it, and here it is finally wrapped. Then it went through the convection oven or your heat source. And then when you're done, you have a finished design. So that's pretty simple how the mug wraps work. So there's one option. The other option is working with a mug press, and we have a few different mug press options available. And this is where you would be doing one mug at a time. And again, you would print off your design, tape it to the mug. Everything has the design is actually taped to the mug, and you slide it into this mug press and clamp it down. And again, you can see the time and temperatures changed a little bit because now you've got like direct heat right onto the mug. This mug press is pretty handy because it does allow, it's a 4-in-1, and so this unit right here can be taken off, and we have 3 other units that can be put in to allow for a larger 15-ounce mug, and we have a latte one where it's wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. So different options available, and I do believe there's a 5th item available for doing the shot glasses, but that would be an additional purchase to be able to do the shot glasses. So it does take an average of 5 minutes prep time and press time per mug, and then you probably can make about 8 to 10 mugs with one of these per hour. So nice setup there. You can take some nice orders and produce those for your clients. Now here's a new item, and I definitely would refer watching, again, going to our YouTube channel and watching Jamie and Meredith on how to do the heat shrink bags with this. But this is where we have um, a bag, and it can wrap perfectly around any substrate that you're working with, and then it shrinks. So it's a PVC heat shrink bag, and it will form to any item. We do have a wide variety, or actually 3 different size of bags. And the big thing here is it's very important, in order for the wrap to work properly, the entire item must fit in the bag, and it needs to have room for the wrap to go around, everything, the top, the bottom, because it needs to be air sealed down. So definitely go to YouTube and check out how to use the heat shrink bags. Or at the end, if you have any questions, we'll get Jamie on here and help answer any of those questions on these bags as well.
Definitely.
All right, the next one is the Geonite DK3. Now this is a very solid heat mug press, and it can work with the 11 and 15 ounce and even up to 16 ounce mugs and different steins available. So the nice thing about this one is you're going to have, it can go up to idle at 400 degrees. And I do believe the Geonite, the recovery time, so when you're doing one and then you're pressing one mug and then releasing it, you can bring the next mug in and start your next one. So the heat recovery time is really good here. So we have quite a few people that will work with this mug press to knock out quite a few mugs at a time. Now, if you're wanting to go increase your productivity, and this is where I would say is a mid-level production, uh, the mug oven goes great with the mug wraps and allows you to do 12 to 15 mugs per cycle. So you could get around 45 or 48, I guess is what they're saying, mugs produced per hour. So the convectional oven is great to work with. These trays can come out and can be used so you can allow for taller items and work with all the different wraps to put in there. You can control your time and temperature. This is, love this, made in the USA. They are in Kansas, Pittsburgh, Kansas, and they are open and in production. So you put the mugs in pretty much, and what's nice is the way the air flows around the mugs. So, your drinkware. I do say keep the mugs kind of separated apart. You don't want them touching each other. And the way that the air flows around, and you're just going to have much more control of your temperature. There won't be any cold spots. Sometimes when people are working with their own convectional ovens, they have to like figure out where their cold spots are in their oven because we don't like that. That's not good with sublimation printing. And we don't recommend eating or cooking food in something that you're sublimating in. So if this is something you're wanting to do either at home or in your shop, it would be good to have your own special convectional oven to do your sublimation drinkware production. So this is a good mid-level. Now we're going to go up to the high volume production, and so this would allow you to do, thousands of mugs at a time. And how this works is you're actually, again, going with any type of, the mug wraps that you're working with, going through the process of prepping your mug, and then you set it on your mug, or you set your mug here, and this is a conveyor, and it goes through the heat source, and you can control your time and temperature, how long it goes through, and this is just continuous mug production. So typically you'd have staff here wrapping and setting the mugs onto the conveyor oven. It goes through the conveyor oven, and then here, this is actually a cooling. So this is a fan that blows and cools it, and as it comes off, the people are taking the wraps off and then putting it on a shelf to be boxed and shipped. So the different ones, we have a 24-inch, 36-inch, and 48-inch. It really just depends what production level you want to be at. And I definitely say, call in and we can talk one-on-one to figure out what type of production level you want to be at to get the right type of equipment for you. If you want to see more of these in action, I definitely say, we do have a lot of helpful videos. Go to our, as I highlighted before, go to the Coastal YouTube channel, or if you want to see any videos, or just even email us and let us know which one you're most curious about, and we'll make sure we get that information over to you if we haven't explained it well enough here thus far. So now, if anyone has done mug production, I'm sure that you've messed up a few. So we are going to talk about mug mess ups real quick. And Jamie, feel free to chime in. If you have tech questions, a lot of times you call in, you'll either get Jamie or Meredith or maybe Matt, our technicians. They answer a lot of these questions. So I reached out to somebody yesterday and I asked them if they would be kind enough to share some of their mess ups with me. And Jamie, on this one, there was a red stripe and it was supposed to be solid. So you want to explain what maybe happened here?
So normally, a few things could happen. It could be your press settings, if you're working with a press, or it could be your oven settings, not enough temperature or not enough time. If you're working with a mug press, sometimes it could also be your element, but most of the time it's usually time, temperature, or pressure. So you have three options that you can kind of look at when trying to dial in on what exactly it could be. If your pressure isn't firm, that'll cause this. Again, if your temperature's not in the range it should be, which is normally, it depends on your press model. I would say usually between like 350 and 400, and your time. Usually your time is going to be a few minutes. So there's a few options. Um, there's just not, it's
Yep.
not getting enough of something.
Right. So that's going to be kind of a repeat on, oh, nope, this is the other one. So I highlighted our mug here. This is what the mug looks like when somebody purchases one of our black mugs that has the white patch on it. And they got a big white line at the top. So I'm going to hand it over to Jamie, let you explain what happened here. Kind of surprising Jamie. I don't think she knew I was going to do this to her. So,
No, I am totally fine. So when working with the black mug, we have a black mug with white patch. So if you do not either have the proper paper or match up your transfer properly in between the guidelines of the white, when you press and when you take that transfer off, you might be a bit disappointed because you'll notice that it has, a white line as you can see on the screen. So definitely make sure that you're using the correct paper. Make sure you're lining it up appropriately, and then you shouldn't have this issue.
perfect. And this is kind of a repeat of, again, another example. There's a little fade right here in this orange area. So I like what Jamie said, again, reasons for misprints. A lot of time it comes down to the heat, inconsistency, maybe not enough pressure or not enough time. So, and I would say, and Jamie, what do you think? When it comes to not enough time, do you feel like most people undercook an item versus overcook?
I say actually it's kind of about half and half. I
Oh,
get a
really?
lot of calls about either or.
Okay.
And the first thing I say is, okay, do you have black in your design? Because that's the easiest way to tell if which way you're going. If you have black and it's green, that usually means you're undercooking and you need to raise your temperature and your time. But if you have black and it's brown, that usually means you're overcooking, and that you need to reduce. So I usually it's about half and half, I would say, but it's probably
Oh,
easier for customers to probably I would say overcook their mug versus under, because sometimes
oh,
you know maybe you think I need more time and more time to get the best result.
okay. That's good. I've heard of the overcooking and the black turning brown, but the green,
Mhm.
that's really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good indication. So those are just a few mess ups, and mess ups happen. Learning curve is all part of the game, but this is an easy item to master. So when you're doing it, just know when you're starting out, always order a few extra to get you through that learning curve. But once you've mastered this and you've honed in, like your heat source that you're working with and how it responds to the mugs, and write down, I always tell people, write down your time, temperature, and pressure of the sublimation item that you're working with, so that way when you come back to it a month later to do that product again, you've got something to reference to, and it helps you with your the fewer the mistakes the better, because it's all about making items and making profit. Okay, everybody, looks like we're pulling down some questions here. So thank you again for joining us. We definitely appreciate your time that you've spent with us. And if again, any questions that comes up, give us a call. We are here for you. Coastal is open. Don't forget about those bundle packages that we are now showing. So if you go to our website over to the right, we now have a lot of new bundles that are available. And as Jamie goes through and tests these new products, we're going to continue adding kind of like a new product bundle. So keep an eye there. Always come back and check out and see what's new. And I've seen a few things that she's testing, and we've got some exciting new products coming. So um, this is a good time to try, play around and with new products. Some of us have a little extra time, so anything we can do to help, let us know. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jamie and Matthew.
And thank you, Darcy. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone, for joining.